Hi team, I thought I would create a short video to introduce you to my way of thinking. I titled it Thinking and Feeling. I like to start off by explaining the learning process. We learn through association, which means that when we have an experience, which is an event that happens in a certain environment, then we translate it and give it a meaning, and that meaning will give us a feeling. This is how we create memories. Use a real life example just to help you understand it easier. So there's this event when you are broken up with and you feel the heartache, you feel being left, you are feeling sad, you might feel even empty, and your mind replays this over and over, over and over and over and over. You are kind of like stuck in a loop because your mind plays this over and over in your head, and you therefore feel sad because you're reliving that experience. Well, you try to deal with this, so you decide to work hard because that will take your mind off of it. You are pretending to be okay, but you can't really concentrate because your mind wants to go back again and again and think about that event that you had. You feel stuck, you have to effort really hard to actually make yourself do something, but you think this is life, so this has to be hard. This is normally is hard, so yeah, that's the way things go. So you don't have a proper system to deal with it, so you just try to take your mind off it. You sit down in front of the TV, try to put on maybe something like a comedy because that should cheer you up, but still that's no help. Your mind drags you back again and again. So to find some sort of ease, you might get a bottle of champagne, or not champagne but something else to drink, just to numb that kind of pain that you are feeling. Then somehow you decide that, okay, well, that doesn't work, maybe because I have fond memories of running on the beach, that might help. So I'm going to the beach and then go for a run, and it feels good. It feels good in my body. I I break a little sweat, but my head clears, and then I feel actually huge relief. I feel huge relief, and I kind of admit to myself that, yeah, well, I saw this coming because the last few years were a little bit boring actually. So yeah, this might be even a good thing. Maybe I will finally do the things I wanted to do, and yeah, maybe even meet someone who's even nicer, right? So then you go home and wake up next morning, you're back in the heartache mode. Life is crap. You're again trying to go through work just to take your mind off of it. Again, go home, sit down in front of the couch, in front of the TV, and maybe get another drink to try and numb the pain. I like to call this a unit of memory. So we have this event in a certain environment that we translate it to ourselves, uh, giving it a certain meaning, and this created a thinking process in us, which in turn created a feeling in us, and then now we are reliving this whole event as a unit of memory. So we do have all the ingredients in it, and they are stuck together. As we see that feelings are tied to thinking patterns, and patterns tend to repeat themselves. So what it means that if something repeats itself, it is like a frequency. So what is frequently happening, that is a frequency. And then it's easy to understand that there are bandwidth. There is a bandwidth of sadness when your mind goes around in circles. It's not able to find a way out, and it's in a stress state. Also, there's a different bandwidth when you want to fight your way out, that you are going to work through this. It's difficult, you feel that you're efforting, and you're not making much progress, because again and again you are trying to fight that experience that you had. And as you go into that experience, you always feel bad. And then there's another bandwidth, which would be the joyful bandwidth. When your head is clear, your mind is flexible, you find solutions, progress is easy and also wanted. So when we think about the environment, what do we actually mean? So that unit of memory, which is the experience itself, has the feeling, has the translation, so the meaning added to it, and then also the environment that I mentioned earlier, and also a thinking pattern embedded in it. These memories are saved in our subconscious mind. The subconscious mind, the physical equivalent of the subconscious mind, is our nervous system in our body. So it's all recorded, all the memories, all these events that we have experienced are all recorded in our body as well. So when we remember that this unit of memory has the feeling, the thinking tied together with the experience, it is very easy to understand that they are together. So when we feel somehow, then it's not because of what we thought or how we are thinking, or not only because of that, but it works the other way too. So if we feel a certain way, then through the priming process or this reticular activating system, what it does to us, to our thinking, is that we are going to go back for the previous example, we are going back to the sadness bandwidth. If our body doesn't feel good, then because of the feeling that comes from the body, we are going to, without actually noticing, really change our thinking patterns. What it actually means is that the feelings regulate our thinking, and our thinking regulates our feelings as well. Which means that if these units of memory are recorded in our subconscious, which is recorded, or it's a different density in the physical representation of it is our nervous system, then we can understand that the state of our nervous system does influence the way of our thinking patterns. So why is this important? If we want to intentionally go through our day in this joy bandwidth, when everything's easy, your ease and flow, problems don't bother you, because you can simply, you're in the creative flow, so you can find answers very easily. Your body feels good, you move faster, you just handle everything easier and faster, and you even feel the need or the desire to do more. Let's grow, let's do more, let's do it. I'm on top of my game, let's do more. So what we can do is we can actually engineer these experiences if we learn how to regulate our body. And there are 4 main areas worth mentioning. One would be hydration, because our body is 70% water, so if we lose water from our system, then our nervous system goes unnoticeably just into survival mode, and it will shut down our creativity. It will put us into a different bandwidth, the bandwidth of confusion, or maybe even sadness. Same goes for breathing. If we don't breathe enough oxygen, then again the nervous system will go into that unwanted bandwidth without us really noticing. We are not talking about saber-toothed tigers chasing us. It's simply not breathing deeply enough and not providing enough oxygen to our brain and our body. Heart rate is also very important, because breathing and the heart rate, they both have rhythms. So a lot of people say that I'm not in sync with myself. My head wants this, my heart wants this. They are out of sync, so heart rate comes in there. And also another thing that flows in our body, that would be a representation of our flow state, the joyful state, the joyful bandwidth, is digestion. And why digestion is important? Because there are 2 states, again. There is acidic and alkaline. Acidic state is tied to the survival mode, survival state of the nervous system, and alkaline is with the growth and the regeneration together. So remember, you are translating your experience through the bandwidth that you are tuned to. So if you're on the sad bandwidth, life is crap. Everything is dull. And yeah, when you are in the working through mode, everything is a challenge, everything is a hardship. You are fighting, you are efforting. Then again, through that bandwidth, you are translating life as hardship, that you have to fight hard. When you are in the flow state, in the joyful challenge, again, you think differently, you are much more efficient, you are much more joyful and happy, and this can be regulated. You can actually choose how you want to perceive your experience, how fast you want to progress. Life can be lived in ease and flow if you choose your bandwidth deliberately.